It's fun to get back over here, and Cuero's got such a great reputation across the country, and you know, whether it's old Ruby Begonia that everybody knows, and home of the galloping gobblers, or fighting gobblers, I guess is actually the proper name. The boys will get me in trouble for that, but it is a unique community, and you all are fortunate to live here and have the leadership that you have. And you know, today is another one of those fun times for me, being the governor of the greatest state of the nation, and talk about another little bright ray of light. And you know, there's some pretty dark economic storm clouds out across the country and around the world, but here in Cuero there's jobs headed this way. And you know, Texas has done pretty good considering the global economic crisis that we face. But there, you know, there's still too many Texas families without work, people facing challenges of joblessness, and we're not going to be satisfied till every Texan that wants a job has a job. And that's why we consider job creation our #1 goal. I think that's the most important thing I do, is help create a climate. And I got some good partners, whether it's Lieutenant Governor, Speaker, and members of the House, and Jeannie's here with us today. And I want to say thank you for being one of those good, courageous people. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in a minute, but preserving that climate in this state for economic development. And I happen to believe that those efforts that have been contributed by all of you, I don't get confused that you know, government doesn't create a job. The private sector is who creates the jobs. But it's the men and women that are out there risking the capital. What Jeannie and I and her colleagues do is we help create a climate where people can succeed. We don't guarantee anybody anything in Texas except the opportunity to succeed. And as a matter of fact, there was a pretty well-known economist here last 60 days, and he was talking about Texas and where we find ourselves being a rather unique position. He said we would be the last state to go into this recession and the first state to come out. And he justified that with some growth numbers that we're seeing in job creation the last 6 months of '09, which was a brutal year. Half of three of those last 6 months, we had positive job growth in the state of Texas. And according to our Workforce Commission, our unemployment rate is the lowest among the nation's top 10 states, and we produce more private sector jobs than any other state in the nation over the past 10 years. Forbes magazine said that our debt level was the lowest of the 10 largest states. We were recently named the top exporting state in the nation for the 8th year in a row. And when you think about this industry that we're going to announce here in a few minutes, it's just going to add to our ability to send outside of the borders of the state of Texas product that's made here. And these are some pretty remarkable numbers when you think about what's going on across the country. And it's evidence of the strong core economically that we have in this state. And I tell people it's because the state is committed to that type of fiscal discipline, and we're willing to stick to the basics. Y'all know I'm a very proud graduate of the beloved Texas A&M, and you know, I tell people, I said, listen, I'm just a little animal science major, but I get it when it comes to the principles of governing. It's really pretty simple. You know, #1 is don't spend all the money. And Jeannie and her colleagues, they left upwards of $8 billion in that rainy day fund, because we saw last June when we were finishing up the storm clouds that were on the horizon, and we realized that those are dollars that we may need in the future. And the second principle is to have a tax and a regulatory climate that is fair and that's predictable, a legal system that doesn't allow for oversuing, and an accountable, appropriately funded public school system so that you are creating the skilled workforce. These guys that are coming into Cuero, Texas aren't coming here if there was a question about, are we going to be able to find the skilled workforce here? And they looked at a whole lot of other places. Roberto, I don't know what those other states were, but those, as I refer to them, lesser states that they looked at. You know, I'm not gonna, I won't get in that fight today. But the fact is, those are 4 principles that are simple. That's the principles of governing are simple. Implementing them is the difficult part. And I want to congratulate you on Jeannie Morrison one more time. It takes courage to day in and day out. You know, I can't tell you how many people come and say, in good programs, but when you look at what the budget is, the money you have to spend, you got to say no often. And you know, I guess it's different in some places. Washington, D.C., they just print more money and say yes to everybody. But in Texas, we got to say no. And it's the courage of people like Jeannie Morrison that's really important. And you know, this latest employer that's going to be coming in here, they're taking advantage of the climate that we've created. SIPCO understood that this was a place they wanted to be. They looked at the last 4 years, would be my estimate, of what has happened in this state, what's going on in the other states that were the competitors with us, and they decided they're one of the nation's top industrial power transmission products companies. And it is a great honor for me today, and I'm really proud of what Sherry and her team, the county, the city working together. There's great coordination in that economic development. We're going to announce today that Texas, the state of Texas, all of us collectively are investing $300,000 out of our enterprise fund to help SIPCO expand their manufacturing operations here in Cuero, Texas. Mayor, one of the things that they're going to be able to do is, because they're coming here, they are not going to have to rely upon foreign suppliers. They're going to be able to expand their their workforce here, and they know the dedication, they know the work ethic that is in Texas, and what's happening all across the country and around the world even. Last year, Caterpillar announced that they were going to close 2 of their manufacturing facilities in 2 other states that had, let's say, economic climates that weren't as positive as Texas. And they're moving their entire engine manufacturing facility in the world to Seguin, Texas. Products that have "Made in Texas" stamped on the side of them are becoming it's becoming a trademark for quality all around the world. And when these products leave out of Cuero, Texas, it's either going to be stamped on, it's going to have a sticker on it that said "Made in Texas." And that says something to people all around the world. And the enterprise fund, which is where the dollars were, and, I think it was 2003 that you all created that, Jeannie, and that has been a great tool. It's going to create 100 jobs in this community. It's going to bring in more than $6 million of capital investment. And that's exactly what this enterprise fund was set up for. If we did not have it, they would have gone somewhere else. Company after company that we've been able to lure in here have said that enterprise fund and having that deal closing ability was that was the final part to put the deal together. And look, you all are clearly doing something right in DeWitt County. I know they looked at 5 different states. They looked at Texas, and they looked all around the state of Texas. You're doing something right in this community, and it really makes me proud to be here today. And this expansion is the culmination of a lot of hard work. Whether it was the Economic Development Foundation, your civic and your business leaders, partnering with the Enterprise Fund. You know, over the last 7 years, since Jeannie and her colleagues created this Enterprise Fund, It is directly attributable to 52,000 new jobs created in the state of Texas, and I think $14.2 billion worth of capital that has come into this state. And it's efforts like that to keep jobs in Texas, along with those paychecks, I might add, that from my perspective, and I think for most Texans, that is entirely worth the investment. So on behalf of more than 24 million people that call this state home and growing every day, I congratulate SIPCO on the expansion. I wish them every success. I hope they will expand and do well.